Hey there, hi. I literally filmed this entire video earlier today, but I accidentally self-sabotaged. I didn't know this was gonna self-sabotage me, but I could have probably put it together. I did a bunch of research where I went and watched a bunch of other YouTube videos about the topic I'm presenting you today, which is 3 tips on how to regularly, routinely heal from trauma. By watching these other videos of these much bigger accounts, these much bigger channels that have like at least 100,000 subscribers, and we got about 1,000 over here, I really shot myself in the foot in the terms of confidence. After a good nap and a good snack, here I am again. You're catching me in more of my lounge clothes because I'm comfortable now. This is how I'm gonna do this video. Tip number 1 that I have for you is the most important understanding you can have about healing your trauma. And I speak from experience. I speak from experience of spending years having to open up everything and heal. And healing actually takes very intentional effort and work. It requires mindful, intentional, powerful moves made in life to actually happen. Okay? So the number 1 thing you need to understand is that there is a difference between your trauma and your aftermath. If you are healing from an actual trauma that happened to you, whether it's an isolated incident or a season of life in which you were mistreated, that trauma and the aftermath that you are trying to heal are 2 different things. The aftermath is the way in which you respond to the trauma and the pattern that causes inside of you when you leave the trauma and you interact with the world. For example, my initial trauma caused me to severely dissociate. This later turned into a dissociation disorder, which turned into a problem with how I interacted with my life, myself, others, the world. I had to heal years of dissociation more so than having to heal this initial trauma. You view life differently when you're in a trauma state. You have to get out of the trauma state. You need to heal the lingering effect of the trauma to get distance from the trauma truly. So make sure you understand, where are your efforts going? Are you trying to heal something that happened 20 years ago? Or are you trying to heal the way in which you respond to life now because of that inciting incident? Just get this understanding grounded. Actually talk with yourself about this. If you're in therapy, bring it up to your therapist. How does your trauma impact you in this day? And what can you do about healing your triggers, regulating your nervous system, rewiring thought patterns, and limiting belief systems about who you are, your self-worth, your value, your self-love? These things. These are separate from the past. These are now. Heal the now. Okay, tip number 2, I think, will be received with mixed feelings, along with tip number 3, but we'll get there. Tip number 2 is to start exercising. So even for somebody who doesn't have trauma, exercise is incredible. It's going to help you release dopamine. It's going to process the lymphatic system. It's going to strengthen your bones and your muscles. It's going to help you be healthy. And it's going to help you think clearly. If you apply that to the process of processing trauma, healing from trauma, what you are doing every time you exercise intentionally, powerfully, and mindfully, that doesn't mean an intense exercise. Let me get to that in a second. Every time you make that choice to exercise with the intention of healing trauma, you're literally applying as much action as possible behind renewing the mind and the body, connecting the mind and the body, occupying the body. It's activating body-mind connection when you understand body-mind connection. And a really common thing that happens to us when we experience trauma is we have a body-mind connection separation. We are not connected with ourselves. We are not grounded. We are not stable. We are not as in control of ourselves as we'd like to be because we have these really active triggers. Moving your body. Breaking a sweat is great. You don't always have to break a sweat though. Just moving your body and having this really concentrated understanding of healing from trauma while doing so creates this really wild experience that I have had many times, especially in the past when I was actively healing from trauma, that you become the observer of what's processing inside of the body. You're able to understand what the body has been holding and have like a psychosomatic experience and go through a somatic therapeutic process where the body is finally processing and releasing those traumas. Because so often Intellectually, we think we're very separated from it. Maybe we really are. Maybe we've even gotten to a place where we're able to forgive those who hurt us. The intellect and the body tend to move at a different speed. You need to catch the body up. Tip number 3 is to regularly interact with art process of some kind. And when I say regularly, I mean at least an hour a week, okay? More is great. Less than that, I mean, I'm a huge believer in like 10 minutes does more than nothing. However, it needs to be something that's regular. All of these tips are something to activate in your regular lifestyle and routine. So engaging with art process is the same thing as the exercise, but on a different level. It helps those emotions come through the art medium and process out. It's basically nonverbal processing because the thoughts and the emotions have to move through the body and do something with the art medium. This is a painting I did therapeutically. I did this before I came to Christ. This is a big fish. Here's God's eye. Here's my eye. Filled with darkness, God's is filled with light, and he's shadowed, because you got to look him right in the eye to find him, symbolically. And then here's this fish body. You can see the fins, kind of. It's very abstract, right? This was me experiencing this process of feeling like I'm in the water, in the murky water, and I was looking for God. Engaging with art is not to create something beautiful. I think my painting is beautiful, but that wasn't my point. It's not to create something beautiful. It is to engage in a transformative process and allow these emotions to process out. I hope these tips really serve you. I hope they really help you, and I hope that you understand that they're not a one-time thing. It's a habit that you put into your life to help you start processing out this trauma. If you have any questions and you want to know more and you have a specific question to give me, please give me that question. I am making these videos on healing from trauma and building wellness. These are my key focuses on this channel, and I'm getting kind of nervous and shy now. I appreciate you guys so much, and I just love it that you're here. My name is Kaylee, and I will see you next time.